To say that D'Angelo made neo-soul music is honestly a disservice. He particularly described his 2000 album, Voodoo, as funk.
Like a funk album, man. The natural progression from soul, the next step to soul was funk.
And with Voodoo, it's also the influence of hip-hop, with the presence of another legend, Jay Dilla, who completely innovated the way music was produced and beats were programmed, constructing music electronically, but making it feel real and live with mistakes, and the music being unquantized. And this inspired everyone. Think of a song like Janet Jackson's Got Till It's Gone. And it's one of the things that gives Voodoo its unique texture. Devil's Pie feels like a rap song, and it is actually a pretty scathing critique of the hyper-consumerism that became a hallmark of hip-hop at this time, but it's also psychedelic and descends into feeling like you're live at a jazz club. D'Angelo wanted his music to operate on different levels, but there's also something about the lyricism and the vocal delivery, which can and has been described as mumbling. This isn't something too dissimilar from another musical legend, Marvin Gaye. I think of an album like Here My Dear, written after Marvin's divorce from Annie Gordy, which in its own right is this real soul-bearing album that wasn't really appreciated by anyone at the time, but how Marvin often made music was through mumbling and then that developing into lyrics. And I believe this approach forces the listener to be more active in the process of listening and digesting music and have a deeper connection with the heart and the soul behind music, something D'Angelo did himself. Making his bodies of work, which he only has 3, something you need to sit and live with to really feel. And even though the Voodoo era is best remembered by the Untitled music video, putting D'Angelo into the realm of sex symbol, its response and this fetishization towards him did actually deeply scar him why he took a long break from the music industry, releasing his last studio album 13 years afterwards. But I do think it's important to understand his intention here. Untitled How Does It Feel is a song that channels Prince, reminding me of the most beautiful girl in the world, but something slow like the beautiful ones. Prince had a very overt and transgressive form of black male sexuality, and I think D'Angelo's embodying that here, not in a way to shock and stimulate, to embody vulnerability and to illustrate as a black man of what sensuality and intimacy can look like or feel like, which does challenge the traditional way we see black male sexuality performed, right? Even in music, there is something very voyeuristic about it, or very phallic about it. And I mean, this was a lot of people's sexual awakening, but I think the revolutionary spirit about it is not just about like D'Angelo looking great, right? And it's something that a lot of recreations of this video, or videos in the same vein, failed to capture. The song also calls me back to Teddy Pendergrass, another black soul artist revered as a sex symbol in the 70s. And I think it speaks to D'Angelo's ability and desire to make music that acts as archive, connecting history and heritage, which is why on the Voodoo album he says this: "I consider myself very respectful of the masters who came before. In some ways, I feel a responsibility to continue and take the cue from what they were doing musically and vibe on it. That's what I want to do. But I want to do it for this time and this generation. And that's why this album is called Voodoo. We use voodoo in the drums, the cadences, and call out to our ancestors. And that in and of itself will invoke spirits. And music has the power to do that, to invoke something, invoke spirit. And that's why D'Angelo's music will always be remembered forever for doing